Broughty Ferry railway station was opened on 6 October 1838 and is the oldest station still in use in Scotland. The Victorian era saw massive expansion of the railways, and its stations and barriers were made to look attractive to travellers. However, over 150 years after the station had opened, the wooden gates at the level crossing on Grey Street in the ferry faced the axe. In late November 1987, a meeting took place in the borough halls regarding an upgrade of the Grey Street crossing with modern barriers, following a consultation period with locals. British Rail at the time had already informed the local council and the police of their intentions. Harry Knox, British Rail's Scottish Region Signalling Officer, told those assembled that the existing barriers had been listed in the 19th century, but the current wooden gates were not the original ones, having been made in 1972. He concluded that they should not be listed, even though some parts of the cast-iron mechanism dated from the 1920s. The wooden gates and associated mechanisms had been specially commissioned, but their upkeep was becoming prohibitively expensive. Knox claimed they had reached the end of their life and said British Rail would install new manually controlled gates, which were to be controlled by the man in the signal box. He went on to say that British Rail would never install an automatic crossing at Broughty Ferry, controlled only by approaching trains. The proposal was to have gates falling in two leaves, which would close the entire width of the street at either side of the railway track. A siren would be sounded by the signalman. A yellow light would flash for 3 seconds before turning red and flashing for 5 seconds before the barrier fell, the left leaf first. However, permission for the project was denied by the then Dundee District Council by a massive majority. In January 1990, a Scottish office report stated the farm-style gates were unique and irreplaceable. The crossing closed for a time that year. As time went on, the mechanisms became less workable, and it was rumoured at the time that British Rail had tampered with them so they could remain closed permanently. But due to pressure from local people and businesses, it reopened. 2 employees at the station had to work the gates by hand as a train approached. A year later, the gates at the crossing brought to head safety concerns that had been raised over the years. On the night of Tuesday 22nd October 1991, the intercity train from Aberdeen carrying 50 passengers hurtled through the station at 80 miles per hour. But the gates, to stop traffic on Grey Street, remained open to them, but closing the track. The incident happened around 7:20. The driver of the train saw the gates, but he was going too fast to stop in time. He sounded the klaxon, warning motorists not to cross, and did so just in time. The train sped through, smashing the gates, and it was only by sheer luck that no one was injured. Eyewitnesses gave accounts shortly afterwards. One woman was beginning to drive over the crossing from Queen Street when she heard the train's warning signal as it approached. She quickly slammed the car into reverse, and as it was on the far side of the track, she made it to safety as the train crashed through the gates nearest Brook Street. Splinters showered her car. She slumped over the wheel in shock at what had just happened. Small pieces of wood and metal scattered over Grey Street, the railway platforms and the track. Further down the track, the driver had managed to do an emergency stop, and both he and his passengers were unharmed in the incident. The only damage to the train initially noticed was to the fiberglass nose cone, but later Tayside police said that an access door had been ripped off. The passengers were then transferred onto the 2105 Dundee to Edinburgh train. Just seconds before the incident, expatriate Dundonian Alex Anderson and his wife Anne, along with his brother-in-law and his wife, John and Valerie Suter, had just driven across the level crossing, making their way to visit family in Monifies when they heard the smash. On hearing the crash, Anderson thought the gates had closed very quickly, but when we spun round, we couldn't believe it. He was astonished that an incident like that could happen. He thought there should have been a signal down the line to warn the driver that the gates across the track were closed. If not, he continued, why didn't the people at the station itself know that a high-speed train was coming? All four suffered from shock. Another eyewitness to the incident was Moody Barry, who described it as horrifying, and that it was a miracle no one was hurt. He was just coming round the corner on Grey Street onto Brook Street when he heard the bang. He saw pieces of wood flying everywhere. He noticed the train had destroyed not only the south side gates, but the posts that they hung on as well. However, people living in the flats right next to the crossing were unaware of the incident until they heard the commotion outside after the train had passed. A young mother told reporters that it had just sounded like any other train going through, except for the klaxon sounding. Immediately after the incident, British Rail launched an investigation into the near miss. On the night of the incident, the system for closing the gates had failed, so all four remained open for traffic to cross. 2 of the gates were completely destroyed, while the other 2 were badly damaged. It was usual for the signalman at Barry to notify the one at Broughty Ferry of an approaching train by bell code, then for the ferry signalman to alert the gate operators. The crossing had been manned in this way for a few months before the incident. Somewhere along the line, communication failed. A team of technical staff from Edinburgh were called in while the signalman was relieved of his duties, but he returned the next day. Tayside Police closed off Grey Street for a time, with the north side gates closed, and tapes were put in place where the south gates had been. The clear-up operation got underway to remove the debris from the track, and it reopened an hour later at 8:20 p.m. West Ferry District Councillor Joe Handy was furious at the failure of safety procedures, while Broughty Ferry District Councillor Ken Guild said he would be writing to the chairman of ScotRail asking for an explanation. He'd been raising concerns about the safety of the gates for 3 years, stating they weren't safe and should be replaced. In the end, the incident was put down to human error. 4 years later, in 1995, the gates were removed and new gates installed.